Conor, thanks for taking the time out to speak to me. Red Mills Day, I suppose it's one of the biggest days for Gowran. Thigh Estate and Red Mills Day, they're real major race days as far as national hunt folk are concerned. But Red Mills Day has been a good day for you. You've won the Red Mills before on Hardy Eustace. And he developed into a horse that, I'm not saying reinvented you, but he was so important over the course of your career.
Absolutely. I got to ride obviously through unfortunate circumstances with poor Kieran Kelly passing away, and my first, I suppose, few rides on him weren't successful. I think we were second in Navan the first day, and I think it was the Red Mills were beaten a short head by George's Girl of Francis Flood's. And I was thinking to myself, this is not the start we had hoped for. But at the same time, I think Desi was quite happy that the horse was coming along and coming to himself. And after the Red Mills hurdle day, he really peaked for Cheltenham. And
the Red Mills hurdle, it's a very important trial because it's probably the last chance saloon for horses to go to Cheltenham, to more or less earn their ticket to go to Cheltenham. Has that been the case? Would that have been the case with him, or was it a case of him going back to the champion hurdle anyway, the year that he won the Red Mills?
He was going to go back to the champion either ways. We never, I think, when we did end up going for the stairs later in years, it was always just the last kind of roll of the dice for him. He was really never going to go chasing. He wasn't the biggest. And as you know, the way he jumped hurdles wouldn't have really suited fences. So he was going to stay he's going to stay champion hurdle for as long as he could, which he did. And to go back the second year and do what he done was just absolutely amazing. But as you said, the Red Mills hurdle set him up for it. And as I said, I think even the first year that, as I said, we were beat the short head, I think Desi, knew that was his prep, because he definitely wasn't disappointed that he was only beating a short head. He was very happy. So as I said, it was a fantastic prep race for the champion.
Now who's gone to the front? Lantarctic trying to challenge Ansar for a second spot. They're clear of Sagan with 2 to jump. Hardy Eustace over the second last. Out in front, Lantarctic, a slight mistake on the outside of Ansar, but Hardy Eustace is out clear between the final 2 flights now, and coming down towards the last, the champion hurdler Hardy Eustace out in front of Lantarctic and Ansar, and the long odds on favourite comes to the final flight in the Red Mills trial hurdle. Hardy Eustace safely over. Conor O'Dwyer looks round and sees Lantarctic land just second ahead of Ansar and up towards the finish. A good reception for Hardy Eustace, who's now shipshape for to defend his championship. Hardy Eustace wins for Conor O'Dwyer, Lawrence Byrne and Desi Hughes, the Red Mills. Lantarctic will be second and Ansar third.
And what do you think were his best characteristics, the horse himself?
Without a doubt, his will to win was second to none. I never rode a horse like him. When you rode him and you got to the third last, maybe to the second last, when you were really starting to feel the pinch a bit, you could feel his head just going lower and lower, and you just knew like he wanted every bit of it, and he was up for any battle. He was very well named, and once you felt that head going down, you just knew he was there 100% behind you. As I said, a lot of horses can travel well, they can do a lot of things flashy or look to be travelling well and things, but when you want to get that last ounce out of them, it mightn't be there, whereas Hardy would just give you everything, and to me that was his biggest attribute, because as I said, he wasn't the flashiest or the classiest, but he was definitely the toughest.
And for Lar as well, the fact that he would have lived so close to Gowran, would you have thought that he would have got a real kick out of winning a race that would have been probably one of his local tracks? I presume it was a toss-up between Punchestown and Gowran as to what his local track would have been.
Yeah, he would, of course. Like Lar loves a winner anywhere, as any owner does, but there is always that little bit of extra enjoyment when it is a local track and a lot of people there, friends and that. But as I said, to get him to Gowran, but Desi had him there in top form, and Lar enjoys every day, I suppose, in fairness to him.
And of course, riding for Des a thorough gentleman. He treated everybody the same. I think the fact that he trained him and the fact that you made that link up with him even made the horse more popular because he was such a popular figure in the game.
Yeah, Desi, as you said, like a thorough and absolute gentleman, and as I said, an absolute genius to have, known the Coral Cup was, looked like it was, obviously in hindsight would have been a penalty kick from, but a great call for a 33 to 1 shot to miss the Coral Cup and go for the champion. So as I said, an absolute genius, gentleman to ride for. And of course, everybody loves to see good people with good horses, and that's what Desi was.
I'd say as a trainer, I'd say he was a trainer's dream because he was so sound. I'd say now with your second career, I'd say he's a horse. If you had one half as good as him, you'd love to have one.
Half as good, half as sound. You'd love to have them because, as you know, some of those good horses, they're so hard to train, and to get to turn up all of those Grade 1 days to be at your best, you have to have a sound horse. You can't dip in and dip out and be right on the day if you've only had a even a 90% preparation. Those big races, you have to be 110% the whole time, and that he was. And as you said, I wish I could find one or two of them half as good.
Thanks for the trip down memory lane. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and we'll catch up again when everything is back to normal during the summer at some stage. Good to see you. Thanks for talking.
A good reception for Hardy Eustace, who's now shipshape for the Defenders Championship. Hardy Eustace wins for Conor on Square and Cheltenham Racecourse.